Hello, hi. Let me introduce myself to you. I am Dr. Santosh Kadrekar, MSc PhD DBM, Director Pharma Quality Institute. I have done my doctorate from UDCT Mumbai University in microbiology, and I have worked in many pharmaceutical formulation and API at senior levels as General Manager, Vice President QA/QC departments for more than 30 years. During my tenure on senior positions, I imparted training on cGMP, GLP, QMS to many technical personnel in QA/QC and microbiology departments. I have given technical and scientific training to many pharmacy undergraduate students also when they visited pharmaceutical plants during their graduation curriculum of Mumbai University. I am a competent and approved personnel of FDA Maharashtra for Quality Assurance Department, Quality Control Department in Chemical as well as Instrumental Analysis, Microbiological Analysis and Pharmacological Analysis, that is pyrogen and toxicity test. I must have interviewed more than 500 fresh graduates, postgraduates, pharmacy graduates as well as postgraduates for various posts in quality assurance, quality control and microbiology department of pharmaceutical organizations. While taking these interviews, I have realized that many fresh candidates had very good marks or credentials at a graduation or post-graduation levels, but they were not having good knowledge about current good manufacturing practices, that is CGMP, good laboratory practices, quality management system, which are the most important aspect while facing interviews in the pharmaceutical industries. Therefore, it is imperative and believe that those students who intend to make their careers in pharmaceutical organizations must get initially trained, conversant and acquainted with the technical as well as scientific knowledge in CGMP, GLP and QMS. Normally, fresh science graduates, that is BSc, postgraduates MSc, chemistry of all the subjects, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, physical chemistry, biochemistry and specialization subjects in microbiology. Pharmacy graduates, that is B.Pharm and postgraduates M.Pharms have good opportunities to make their careers in pharmaceutical organization for technical positions. Are you really interested in making career in pharmaceutical industry? Ask this question to yourself. Then first of all, you should know the pharmaceutical industry is governed by and controlled by FDA, that is Food and Drug Administration. There are certain basic regulatory guidelines, that is CGMP, GLP norms, which every pharmaceutical organization will have to follow and implement in totality while manufacturing medicines. CGMP stands for Current Good Manufacturing Practices and GLP stands for Good Laboratory Practices. GMP is covered under Schedule M under the Drug and Cosmetics Act 1940 and GLP is covered under Schedule L1 of Drug and Cosmetics Act 1940. There are various technical and scientific norms described in Schedule M and Schedule L1, which every technical individual must be familiar and conversant who is going to work in pharmaceutical organizations. Let us understand the setup of different departments in the pharmaceutical organizations. Later on, those who intend to make their careers in quality departments, quality department means quality assurance, quality control and microbiology department, must get conversant with the role and functioning of quality departments. Let us know various departments in pharmaceutical organization. First, let us start with the R&D, that is Research and Development Department. The role of R&D is to keep business competitive by providing insights into market and developing new services or the products or improving the existing products. The future growth of business lies in the larger part with the R&D department. Then comes the manufacturing or the production department. Various dosage forms, that is tablets, capsules, oral liquids, ointments, gel, injectables, small volume injectables or large volume parenterals, sterile ophthalmic drops, solution, etc. Production department is a functional area responsible for turning raw materials into a finished product through series of production processes. The production manager is responsible for making sure that approved raw materials are provided, which are provided to the production departments are converted into finished product goods, effectively adopting GMP all the time and by maintaining quality with the help of quality departments, that is quality assurance, quality control and microbiology department. Then comes the stores or the warehouse. Specific function of store is for receiving, inspecting and recording the storage of the raw materials safely, avoiding contamination and following GMP. Another important department is engineering and safety. Pharmaceutical engineering department is concerned on or involved in all the aspects of preventive and breakdown maintenance of pharmaceutical machineries. In some of the pharma companies, engineering department also looks after the safety aspect of the organization. Then comes the HR or personnel or administration department. Key function of HR department includes labor law compliance, recruiting staff, training, development, payroll, record keeping. Some of the pharma companies, additional responsibility is given for the cleaning of the various departments with the help of labor and monitoring these activities by following GMP norms. Dispatch and distribution section. Supply chain department is responsible for distribution of prescription drugs, over-the-counter medicines, generics as well as biologicals having different handling needs and operational objective after their release by the quality departments. There are other departments like regulatory departments which deal with the export of the medicines and keeping the documentations for various countries. This department also prepares various dossiers. Then comes the marketing or sales. Pharmaceutical marketing involves creating brand strategies, working on the brand messaging and its positioning, defining the customer segments and targets, and overall marketing functions help to achieve business goals of the pharma organization by selling pharmaceutical products to generate revenue for the organization. Then the export department exports the medicines to various countries. Then comes the most important departments of the organizations who maintains the quality of the medicines, that is quality assurance department, in short we call it QA. Quality control department, in short it is QC, and microbiology department we will mention as micro. There are three types of pharma industries. One is chemical manufacturing, active pharmaceutical ingredients API, that is in short you can call it as a raw material, and the formulations or the drug products or the medicines. As I shared with you, there are three main departments of quality, that is QA, QC and micro. Today we shall discuss little more information about and try to understand the functioning of QA, QC and microbiology department in pharmaceutical organization. Let us understand the functioning of quality assurance department first. When you say quality assurance, it is a wide-ranging concept covering all the matters individually or collectively which influence the quality of the product. It's a totality of arrangement made with the object of ensuring that the pharmaceutical products or the medicines are manufactured with of standard quality for the intended use. The buzzword is quality has to be built into the product. Few years back, there was only concept that pharmaceutical organizations used to manufacture and test. But because of some incidences happened in America or some other countries, FDA were more cautious of making medicines available in the market with the assurance. So the quality assurance was emerged. If you see the departments of quality assurance, you can say first is documentation section, which is responsible for issuance and retrieval of protocols, logbooks, SOPs, maintenance and destruction of these documents. The second one is quality management system, QMS. This is the most important section. Complaint handling, change control, deviation, annual product quality review, trend preparation, carry out external and internal audit. Qualification and validation, equipment qualification, system validations. This is the importance of having this department, validation department. Then the in-process quality assurance. This is the most important department when a fresh candidate or a new QA officer joins any organization. He should work in in-process quality assurance. In-process quality personnel work on the shop floor with along with the production team. Their job involves line clearance, sampling, area clearance, dispensing. These QA personnel work on the shop floor and they should be familiar with the SOPs, standard operating procedures, and various norms of production as well as the packing department, rather various functioning of intermediate processing. These people should get thoroughly familiar with, because when they come to know about the quality maintenance details right from the dispensing of raw material, manufacturing, labeling till the packing. So initially when you join any pharmaceutical organization, the pharmacy graduate, postgraduates or BSc or MSc, when they join in quality assurance department, they should first work in the in-process quality assurance department. Then reviewer, fifth one is this is a data generated by QCR reviewed online by the reviewer team and approved before the batch is released. Audit and compliance, this is also one of the important departments of quality assurance. Review of internal and external audits, including the vendor audits and audit done by the QA team. By and large, these are the main functions of quality assurance department. When you want to work in the quality assurance department, first of all, you should be familiar with all the SOPs of all the departments. Rather, you should be alert and vigilant as well as knowledgeable. Then only you can join as a trained. Initially, you can join as a fresher or a trainee officer in any pharmaceutical organizations to get familiar or the acquainted with the CGMP, GLP norms. Once you are familiar and conversant, then once you become expert, then sky is the limit. There is a tremendous scope for quality assurance personnel in the pharmaceutical industry. Few more job functioning and role I will share with you. Monitoring and compliance of GMP requirements, preparing various documents, approving or rejection of materials, then retention records, monitoring and approval of validation processes, then cleanliness of all the departments. They will have to be alert and vigilant to ensure that the technical operations in the pharmaceutical organizations are being carried out as per CHGMP and GLP following GMP norms. Report of deviation of all the departments are sent to the various department heads. Get the compliances done on regular basis. Report critical technical related points to the management on the regular basis. QA personnel is directly, you can say, and affect the quality and safety of the finished product. Many apprehensions are there that QA department personnel, they are only to find out and point out the faults, but it is not true. They are expected to be vigilant, alert and on toes to ensure that all the operations are carried out in the entire factory are being carried out perfectly as per the standard operating procedure all the time, and first time only to maintain good quality of medicines. Therefore, we can conclude that position in quality assurance department is challenging but equally rewarding in terms of career as well as monetary benefits. Then comes the another important department is quality control. Quality control department is, it normally deals with the sampling, testing of raw materials, in-process packaging materials and finished products. Also release and rejection procedure as per the in-house specification or the pharmacopoeia specifications. There are different pharmacopoeias used in the pharmaceutical industry. That is, you must be knowing IP, that is Indian Pharmacopoeia, BP, it is British Pharmacopoeia, USP is United States Pharmacopoeia, EP is European Pharmacopoeia, JP is Japanese Pharmacopoeia. These are the pharmacopoeias are used for the pharmacopoeial monographs for testing various raw materials or the finished product, even generic products. Then comes the packaging material testing. There are different types of packaging materials, primary, secondary and tertiary. The primary packaging material is the one which comes in contact directly with the medicines. So, you have to be very careful while handling these primary packaging materials, and you have to store them in a proper classified area so that the contamination or it will not come in contact with dust, because dust is the potent source of microbes as well as pathogenic bacteria. Pathogenic bacteria means which can cause diseases. Another important section you can say of quality control is the instrumentation section, where the instrumental analysis is carried out with the help of sophisticated instruments like HPLC, that is high performance liquid chromatography, GC, that is gas chromatography, IR, that is infrared spectroscopy, UV visible spectrometer, viscometer, polarimeter, and there are many instruments available in the QC with the help of which you can carry out the instrumental analysis. Another important role of a quality control department is the retention of control samples and management. After packing of any finished product, certain samples will have to be drawn by QA department for actual testing. Some samples are kept as a control samples in a proper condition in separate department, in a preferably air conditioned department or simulated condition like market. These retained samples are used when the company is in need. Whenever the market complaints come, then it is the official samples available with the company. Control samples are used for the confirmation whether something has gone wrong with the quality of the product or not. Then comes the stability testing program and management. From this, some of the samples are kept as for the stability studies. Stability studies are carried out for almost all the samples. One of the samples from one of the batches from the products manufactured are kept for the stability studies, real-time stability studies as well as accelerated time studies to see the shelf life of a finished product. That is usually done in the initial stages, but during actual manufacturing also one of the batches is kept for the stability studies. Then issuance of a certificate, that is certificate of analysis, is another important role of a quality control department. In short, you can say there are various sections in quality control: raw material sanction, testing, release of COA, then packaging material testing, in process sampling and testing, finished product testing, sampling testing, and GLP, that is instrumental analysis, training of various quality control personnel. These are the important roles and the functioning of quality control department. Say when you join any pharmaceutical organization, some reputed pharmaceutical or bigger organization, they give initial training. Smaller companies, they expect the persons who join their organizations, they are properly trained for CGMP, GLP and QMS. Persons whom they are recruiting should be familiar with different SOPs and various documentation. So third important department is, we can say, the microbiology department. Nowadays microbiology department has become a specialized field in the pharmaceutical industry. Earlier also it was, but now it has become specialized. In the present pandemic situation, you must have seen how virus has created havoc. So if the medicines are contaminated with pathogens are disease producing or microorganisms. If the medicines are contaminated with pathogens, they can also create havoc. Therefore, the microbiologist plays an important role in any pharmaceutical organization. There are various tests performed in microbiology department, like sterility test, endotoxin test, growth promotion test, enumeration of total bacterial count and total fungal count, and pathogen testing. Enumeration of total bacterial count, total fungal count and pathogens, these are not only done for oral preparations, but non-sterile preparations are prescribed to carry out this test. Schedule M, that is good manufacturing practice, also prescribes non-sterile preparation should be tested for the absence of E. coli, Salmonella and Pseudomonas from the preparations, plus along with the total bacterial count and total fungal count. The environmental monitoring also one of the important aspects which are being monitored by microbiologists. Then comes the maintenance of cultures. Various cultures are to be maintained in microbiology department, like as I told you, E. coli, Salmonella, Pseudomonas, Staphylococcus aureus, Bacillus subtilis, Klebsiella pneumoniae, Aspergillus niger. So many are there. So when you join any pharmaceutical organization as a microbiologist, you should be familiar with the cultural characteristics. No doubt, bigger companies they train, but what I suggest you is these are the important roles of microbiologists in the pharmaceutical industries. Other than CGMP and GLP, quality management system also is important aspects. When you are a pharmacy or a graduate or the MPharm, you must, when you go for the implant training, some training is given, but not fully. But now I have created this Pharma Institute, Pqi, has been created and designed in such a way that the fresh science graduates and postgraduates of chemistry and microbiology, also pharmacy graduates and postgraduates, will get trained. They will become knowledgeable for CGMP, GLP, QMS, good documentation practice, standard operating practice, and day-to-day functioning of QA and QC and microbiology department in the pharmaceutical organization. In addition to this technical and scientific knowledge, we shall be providing you a special training to all the participating students how to face an interview, rather successfully and confidently. Because as I shared with you during my tenure on the senior position in various pharmaceutical industry, I have seen you may be having 70 or 80% or more than that marks in your graduation or post-graduation level. But as far as knowledge of CGMP, GLP and QMS, SOPs and documentation is concerned, you are not that much familiar. And when you go for an interview, the interviewer normally asks the questions which are from these topics. I am confident those who will enroll with the Pharma Quality Institute courses in QA QC microbiology department, you will get definitely benefited to make your career in the pharmaceutical organization. There will be 3 courses associated with Pharma Quality Institute. First course will be Quality Assurance Department, that is QA. The second course would be Quality Control Department, QC. And third will be Microbiology Department, that is Micro. You can join either for QA or QC or Micro, or in combination with QA, QC or QA Micro, or all the 3 departments. If you want to become an expert in the pharmaceutical organization in quality departments, you should know the functioning and the role and the knowledge of all the departments, so that you will be expert and you can make a very good career in the pharmaceutical industry. And along with your career, you can choose a good department and you get monetary benefits also. Syllabus which will be displayed on the Pharma Quality Institute site, that is the pharmacologyinstitute.com. You will get the total detailed syllabus of QA, QC and microbiology department. The syllabus will be comprising of 13 topics. Along with my lecture, there will be PDF documents also will be provided to all the students on the important topics of QA, QC and microbiology. As I shared with you, the unique feature of Pharmacology Institute that training will be imparted to students how to face interview confidently and successfully. And finally, I would say a second unique feature of this PQI is important likely questions which are generally asked. I have worked more than 30 years in the pharmaceutical industry, and I know which are the questions which are likely to be asked during the interview. So if you face the interview confidently, the confidence is the first impression is the most important thing. When you face the interview confidently, I am sure that you will be successful. Finally, I would conclude, quality is never an accident. It is always a result of high intention, sincere efforts, intelligent direction and skillful execution. It represents the wise choice of many options. So when you join any pharmaceutical organization, you must know first of all what is quality. All this training will be provided along with the definitions and the role. All the details will be provided regarding CGMP, GLP, QMS, SOPs, documentation and whatnot. So once you join this course, you can learn these topics, scientific and technical topics, and make your career in pharmaceutical industries. Thank you very much. But I sincerely wish all of you to make your successful career in the pharmaceutical industry. Thank you very much.